Welcome back to Hold the Phone, your one-stop shop for all your Call Me Mother recap content. My name's Jack, and we've made it to the penultimate episode right before the finale, Who is going to make it to the end? I think overall this was a great episode to have right before the finale. It just feels very climactic, and it's like the best of the best are here. Who is going to make it to the end? I'm not sure. After the mini challenge, Dallas explains that the main challenge is a branding challenge, which I think is perfect for this episode right before the end. It's kind of like a part 2 to the first episode where they had to sell themselves, and now they sell themselves again as they have been through the competition. While at the same time, they're also selling a product that basically has to do with themselves. Overall, just really cool. And what's awesome is that on top of this, the judges at the end are gonna vote on their favorite product, and that person wins $2,500 just because, which is really cool. As for the runway, the category is Queer Joy, and again, this is just a perfect category right before the end. It basically shows who these artists are, where they've come from, what their background is, and what they're proud of, and I love this runway so much. So with that, let's get into the 5 looks. Up first, we have Weeby and this clown number, and it's quickly become pretty iconic online. Weeby's done a great job on social media just making all these memes and has just been really funny all around, and I really fell in love with this look. I've been following her for a bit as the season has been airing, and this type of clown makeup has become very, very signature for her, and I think it suits her so well. She was really worried this week because last week they kind of got on her for like not really having a lot of padding and being a little basic, and she was worried that this outfit would fall into the same. Last week I defended her because I don't think her garment was as bad as they voted, and this week I think the look is even stronger. The detailing is really great, it feels fully thought out, overall just an amazing job. I'll let you know right now, this was a very strong week for Weeby, and I'm really glad that we got to see this right before the end. It really felt like Weeby was in the upper echelon, but never really got her own episode to shine, so getting it here, just completely dominating the entire time. Perfect way to make it into the finale, I guess that's spoilers. And next we have Pepper, and of course this is just amazing. It is such an amazing homage to Marsha P. Johnson with the flowers and the hair and the tassels. It's just done so perfectly. We learn later in the mothership about this, and I learned more online about this, but even on the runway, you can tell that Pepper was just loving it. She was just living her dream in her queer joy, and oh, it gives me chills to think about. Like I've been saying in every single one of these videos, I have been a Pepper fan since episode 1, and this is just the perfect cap off. Pepper brings unapologetic, happy energy to every single episode, and I think she's going into this finale with a very strong resume. Up next, we have Michaela Couture. Oh my god, this look is just, it's perfection. They've kind of made this whole storyline as of recent with Michaela and her runways being too basic, or her not really like living up to who she was in the first episode. I don't like it because I know Michaela, and I know that I don't like this storyline for her. But if there was a time to prove them wrong, give them no way to give her any negative critiques, it's with this runway. Oh my god. The story with the wig being the first wig that she styled, the way it fits on her, just the pattern itself, the detailing of everything. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. It may be my favorite runway of the entire season, and it just makes sense in my fantasy that it is Michaela to do this. I'm so insanely proud of everything that she's done. The fact that she is my age is crazy to me. She's already so good at this age, and she's only gonna get better and better as the years go on. And up next, we have Justin a bit. Justin's aesthetic over the course of the season has really scratched an itch in my brain that I didn't know I needed scratched. And that's true for this runway too, even though it wasn't my favorite that he's done. It's kind of hard to translate the concept that he wanted to do through like the gnome and how it was getting colored, and that's like the queer joy. It makes sense once he explains it, but just looking at it, the concept isn't completely there. But overall, looking at the outfit and not really needing to think about the theme, I just think it looks really great. So I do understand the critiques he was given, and I guess he probably had the weakest runway of the night. But to say it's completely bad, no, definitely not. It's just a slight miss, and maybe just a little bit of editing would get it fully there. And finally, we have Jessie Precious, who, this is just outrageous. I like it. I think it's very, very campy, and if this is what Jessie thinks queer joy is, it's just amazing. It's definitely a much lighter take on queer joy and just like the culture surrounding iced coffee. It's really funny, and I think that it really fits Jessie's brand in general, and that's what the judges were saying too. It's just the fact that it had to go against very strong messages of the other runways, and then putting it against those, it doesn't seem like the most serious. Also, just being like super nitpicky, obviously the cup was like a little wonky looking, but it's still just so funny. And they've been so head over heels for Jessie, so I understand why this one got some 10s. Jessie has been very consistent with runways this season, but when she wants to branch out, she's gonna do that, and this was just the perfect example. There's always a very complete vision in Jessie's mind of what she wants to do, and I think she also has a very strong resume going into this finale. Moving on to the live performances, again, up first is Weeby. Knocked it out of the park. Again, such a strong episode for Weeby. Weeby's been getting this critique over the season that everything is just a little too rehearsed from what she's done, but this is now the perfect challenge to be too rehearsed, and she just did an amazing job. But even then, I still think she was able to pull back and have a little more fun with it rather than, being a little too rehearsed in like the roast. So it was just the perfect balance of everything that she needed and everything that she's taken in over the course of the season. Having better pacing, having more fun with it, letting the jokes land, it was all there. Next up, we had Michaela, who I also think had a very strong vision for her product. It's a gel that makes you energetic and perform better. Something that we've seen before on other shows, but not on Call Me Mother, and I think it was a great ad. Like the judges were saying, there were a couple things that she could over-exaggerate, but once she busted out into that performance, it was just perfection. Jessie was up next, and I did enjoy this one. It was basically a hotline ad for women and drag queens, and all the jokes were there. Jessie has shown to be very, very funny on this season, but it's a tough type of product to sell in this type of format. She's basically doing a sketch while at the same time selling something, and that's where she kind of lost the time. She really had to cut some stuff out, but she's so good on her toes and so professional, so she was able to do it flawlessly. Justin is up next, and from the first runway, Justin seemed very defeated. It's really sad to see because I've been rooting for Justin this whole time, but it just felt like there was this barrier after the critiques, and he really couldn't get around that in this challenge. He messed up a little bit, but found his groove, and there were some really funny jokes, but everything was just so reserved, and I think that's just because he felt defeated. And finally, we have Pepper. I thought what Pepper did was really smart, still kind of giving a product vibe, but basically just advertising herself fully. I get what the judges were saying about the sign being redundant, basically just flipping it over and saying the same things, but I still think she sold that joke at the end. Really strong performances, a really fun take on these branding challenges. In the end, Weeby wins it, wins $2,500. I think it makes the most sense, and I completely agree. And the artist unfortunately leaving right before the finale is Justin. Justin has everything to be an absolute superstar, but he is just holding himself back, and I completely get that. I'm very anxious, I'm an overthinker, and I know that's probably what's been going on in his head, but he just needs to know that he has it. With that being said, we're moving on to the finale with Weeby, Michaela, Pepper, and Jessie. Not the top 4 I completely expected, but there were some that I was looking at from the start. I was pretty sure from the start these 4 were going to make it really far, and they have all earned their spot at the end, and I'm so excited for this finale. Thank you guys so much for watching this recap. Next week is the reunion. I won't be doing a recap on that, but this Sunday I'm releasing a video, and I got some other cool videos coming out, so I hope to see you soon with another video.